All right, so buckle up, everybody, because today we are diving headfirst into the world of cybersecurity.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, this is a big one, and we like to go deep here on the deep dive, but specifically, we're talking about a phishing kit called Astaroth,
Like Astaroth.
and
Yeah.
it's causing some serious waves, I hear,
It is. It really is.
because it can bypass two-factor authentication, that
Yeah.
thing that we all rely
It's
on.
supposed to keep us safe.
Exactly. So Astaroth has found a way around it.
Yeah. Pretty scary stuff.
Okay, so for those of us, and I'm including myself here, who aren't cybersecurity experts,
Right.
can you just break it down for us? Like, what is a phishing kit
Yeah.
and what makes Astaroth so different?
So a phishing kit, think of it like a toolbox for like cyber criminals.
Okay.
It has all the things that they need to make convincing fake websites and emails.
Okay.
And the whole point of a phishing kit is to trick you into giving up your sensitive information.
Right.
Now, what makes Astaroth so different is that it uses something called a reverse proxy server.
A reverse proxy server? I'm already lost.
Yeah, it sounds really technical,
It does.
but the concept is pretty simple.
Okay.
It acts like a middleman, so between you and the real website,
Okay.
and it makes a secure connection to a fake site.
So even if I see that padlock icon in my browser, it could still be a fake site.
Yes, you could still be on a bad site.
That's designed to steal my information.
Exactly.
So it's like a disguise.
Yeah, it's like a digital disguise.
To make the fake site look legit.
Exactly. You might think you're logging into your bank,
Right.
but really behind the scenes, Astaroth is taking your username and password.
Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah,
Okay, but what about my 2FA?
right?
Shouldn't that stop Astaroth?
That's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Because Astaroth doesn't just steal your username and password, it takes your 2FA code too.
What?
So think about this.
Okay.
You click a link, it looks like a legit DocuSign request,
Right?
but it actually sends you to a fake login page.
Controlled by Astaroth.
Right? Controlled by Astaroth, exactly. You type in your details and then you get a 2FA notification on your phone, right?
Right, so I'm thinking, great extra security.
Yeah, you think you're being extra careful.
Exactly.
But in reality,
handing over.
you're giving them everything.
Oh my God.
Astaroth takes that 2FA code before it even gets to your phone.
So I might see something.
Yeah, you might see a little flicker on the screen.
Right.
Most people won't even notice it.
So they have my password and my 2FA code.
Yeah, then they can basically inject what's called a stolen session cookie.
What's that?
It's kind of like a temporary access pass
Okay.
and that 2FA token into their own browser.
Into their browser.
And they're in
Wow.
your email, your bank account, everything.
It's not just creating a fake website.
No,
They're hijacking the whole login process.
in real time, yeah.
This is bad.
It's pretty scary, and the scariest part is that 93% of businesses can't even detect this kind of cookie theft.
93%.
It's happening right under our noses, affecting individuals and companies, even big companies, you know?
So even Fortune 500 companies.
Yes, even companies with huge security budgets.
Oh, wow.
They're vulnerable because Astaroth is really good at exploiting weaknesses in their supply chain.
Oh, gosh.
And, things like they'll buy resold access to hosting providers, so they get a backdoor into these supposedly secure systems.
It's like a digital pandemic.
It really is a serious threat, and it shows us that our old ways of thinking about security just aren't enough anymore.
Passwords and 2FA are not enough.
We need a totally new way to think about authentication.
A totally new way.
You need to step it up.
Okay, so we've got a lot to think about.
You do.
That was a lot to take in.
I know, right?
Last time we really got into the weeds with Astaroth.
Yeah.
And it's clear that passwords and 2FA just aren't cutting it anymore.
Yeah, they're just not enough these days.
So what can we do?
Well, the good news is there are some really cool innovations coming out.
Okay, so you mentioned something called passkeys last time.
Yeah, passkeys.
And I'm not gonna lie, it sounds a little bit sci-fi to me.
I know it sounds futuristic,
Mm.
but they're basically trying to get rid of passwords altogether.
Okay.
And they do this using cryptography.
Cryptography.
Uh,
Yeah, it sounds complicated, but
it does.
it's actually pretty simple.
Okay.
Think of it like a mailbox
Okay.
with a slot for incoming mail.
Okay.
Anyone can drop a letter in. That's like the public key,
Right.
but only the person with the key can open it and get the mail.
That's the private key.
Exactly.
Okay. I like that analogy.
Yeah, so how does this mailbox, or I guess passkey system, actually work when I'm trying to log into, say, my email?
Yeah.
So let's say you're setting up passkeys for your email.
Okay.
Your device is going to make these two keys.
Okay.
The public key goes to your email provider, and the private key stays on your device.
Okay.
It's protected by, like, Your fingerprint or your Face ID?
So the private key is kind of like my super secret password,
Exactly.
but it never leaves my device. Exactly. Now, when you try to log in, your email provider sends your device a challenge, like a secret code.
Okay.
And your device uses the private key to sign this challenge.
To prove it's the right key.
Exactly, but without actually revealing the key itself.
Okay.
It's like a secret handshake.
I like that.
Only you and your email provider know.
So there's no password to steal because there is no password.
Exactly. Someone could make a perfect copy of your email login page,
Right.
but they wouldn't be able to get past this because they don't have your private key.
Wow. So passkeys really are a password killer.
They are.
So is this actually working in the real world?
Yeah, companies like Dropbox are already using passkeys.
Really?
And they've had amazing results.
Like what?
Like 40% faster login times.
Wow.
And get this, 0 successful phishing attacks since they started using passkeys.
0.
0.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and it's not just Dropbox. Big companies like Google, Apple, and Microsoft are all investing heavily in passkeys.
So they're really putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, they believe in it. Even Google said that passkeys are basically unhackable.
Unhackable. That's a big claim.
It is, but they seem pretty confident.
So what about the average person like me?
Well, that's the best part.
Yeah.
Passkeys are designed to be super easy to use. No more remembering crazy passwords. No need for password managers.
That's good because I can never remember my passwords.
Exactly. Logging in is as easy as using your fingerprint or your Face ID.
I like the sound of that.
And no more of those annoying password rules.
Yeah, those are the worst.
Uppercase, lowercase symbols, it's all so complicated.
Yeah.
Passkeys just simplify everything.
I'm sold. Are there any downsides?
Well, like with any technology, there are some challenges.
Like what?
Adoption is one. Websites need to actually start supporting passkeys.
Right.
But luckily, the big companies are already on board.
That's good.
And then there's user education.
Right. People need to know what they are.
Yeah, people need to understand what passkeys are and how they work.
I guess it's a pretty big change from what we're used to.
It is.
But it sounds like passkeys could be a game changer for online security.
Yeah, they have the potential to make a huge difference.
So passkeys are this amazing new solution, but we also have other tools in our cybersecurity arsenal.
Right, we do. We do.
What about things like behavioral biometrics and hardware tokens?
Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't rely on just one thing.
Right.
Behavioral biometrics is super interesting.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
It focuses on identifying users based on their unique online behavior patterns.
So it's not about what you know,
No.
but how you do things online.
Exactly, like how you type, how you move your mouse, the pressure you use on the keys, all of that creates a unique digital fingerprint.
It's like having a digital detective watching my every move.
Kind of, yeah. And the cool thing is that even if someone gets your login details, they probably won't be able to copy your behavior.
Right.
So it's like an extra layer of security based on my habits.
Exactly, and it's always learning and adapting.
So it's getting smarter all the time. For example, if you usually log in from your home computer,
Right.
and then suddenly there's an attempt from a different country.
That's suspicious.
Exactly. The system flags that as suspicious.
So it's not just about identifying me, but also looking for unusual activity.
Precisely. It's about recognizing patterns and when things deviate from those patterns.
It's pretty powerful stuff, and I bet it's only going to get more advanced with AI and machine learning.
Oh, absolutely. The potential for behavioral biometrics is huge. We're just scratching the surface.
So we've got passkeys, getting rid of passwords, and behavioral biometrics, adding this invisible layer of protection.
Yeah.
What about those hardware tokens you mentioned earlier?
Right. Hardware tokens like the YubiKey,
Yeah.
they offer a very tangible kind of security.
Okay.
They're these little physical devices that you can plug into your computer
Oh, right. I've seen those.
or connect wirelessly, and they make these one-time codes that you use for authentication.
So even if I fell for a phishing scam and entered my details on a bad website, a hardware token would still protect me.
Exactly, because the code is made offline.
Okay.
And it's only good for a short time. It's like having a lock that changes all the time and only you have the key.
And these aren't just for regular people, are they?
No, not at all.
Who else uses them?
Some of the most security-conscious organizations in the world use them.
Like who?
Government agencies, financial institutions, they take security very seriously.
So this isn't just some gimmick.
No, it's a real deal.
These are serious security tools.
Absolutely. And more people are starting to use them as they realize how dangerous online attacks can be.
It's amazing to see all these different ways we're coming up with to improve online security.
Yeah, it's really encouraging.
But with all these innovations, are we winning the battle against cybercrime?
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an arms race.
How so?
As attackers get more sophisticated, we have to improve our defenses.
Right.
So the key is to stay ahead of the curve.
Stay ahead of the bad guys.
Exactly. And that's where these new technologies come in.
So it's not about winning, but about constantly evolving.
Yeah, adapting to the changing threats.
It's a never-ending battle.
It is, but we can't give up.
So what's the best defense?
A multi-layered approach,
Oh.
combining these new technologies with human awareness.
Right.
We can't just rely on tech. We have to be smart about phishing scams, use good passwords, and stay informed about the latest threats.
It sounds like a call to action for everyone to be more proactive about our online security.
It is. We all have a role to play in making the internet a safer place.
All right, welcome back to the Deep Dive, everyone.
Back for more.
If you missed the first two parts, we've been talking about Astaroth, this phishing kit that can get around even two-factor authentication.
Scary stuff.
But thankfully, we've also been exploring some really cool solutions to keep us all safe.
It's not all bad news.
Not all bad news, and one thing that really got me thinking was passkeys.
Yeah, passkeys are exciting.
I'm so ready to say goodbye to passwords,
Me too.
but I'm still a little confused about how to actually use them, like in real life.
I get it. It's a whole new way of thinking about security, but honestly, passkeys are designed to be super easy to use.
Really?
And setting them up is pretty simple. You probably already have everything you need to get started.
Wait, so I don't need any special gadgets or software?
No, most new phones, laptops, tablets, they already have what you need built in.
Interesting.
Think about how you unlock your phone.
Oh, yeah.
Fingerprint scanner, Face ID.
Yeah, I use that all the time. Much easier than typing in a password.
That's basically a simple passkey.
Oh, wow. So I'm already using passkeys without even knowing it.
Kinda, yeah.
So what's different about using passkeys for online accounts?
So it's basically a more advanced version of the same tech.
Okay.
Let's say you want to use passkeys for your Google account.
Okay, yeah. Walk me through it.
First, make sure you're using a device in a browser that supports passkeys.
So like Chrome, Safari.
Exactly. Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Edge, they all work.
Okay, cool.
Then you go to your Google account settings and look for the security section.
Okay, I see it.
And there should be an option for passkeys.
Got it. What next?
You'll be guided through the setup, which usually involves verifying your identity.
With my current password.
Right, or some other authentication method just to make sure it's really you setting it up.
Double check, that's good.
Once you're verified, your device will create those two special keys.
Public and private.
Exactly. Public key gets sent to Google, private key stays safely on your device.
So my Google account is now protected by this invisible passkey instead of my old password.
Yes, exactly.
So next time I log into Google.
You'll be asked to use your passkey, a quick fingerprint scan, or Face ID, and that's it. Even easier than typing a password.
No more trying to remember those crazy passwords.
Exactly, and remember, the private key never leaves your device.
Right, so there's nothing for hackers to steal.
No passwords to phish. It's much safer.
So is it just Google doing this?
No, lots of big companies are getting on board with passkeys.
Like who?
Microsoft, Apple, eBay, PayPal.
So it's really becoming the standard.
It's the future of online security.
That's great. It feels like the internet is finally taking our data seriously.
It does.
But are there any downsides to using passkeys? Anything we should be aware of?
It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
One thing to think about is that passkeys are linked to your device.
Okay.
So if you lose your phone, you'll need to go through a recovery process to get back into your accounts.
Like resetting your password?
Similar, yeah, most passkey providers have recovery options, though.
Okay, that's it.
Like linking your passkeys to a backup device or setting up a recovery code. It's worth looking into those options.
Okay, good to know. Anything else?
The other thing is, not every website uses passkeys yet.
Right.
So you might still need a password sometimes, but more and more sites are switching over.
So it's just a matter of time.
I think so. Passkeys are the future.
Wow, a passwordless future. That's something I can get behind.
Me too. Much more secure and much more convenient.
This has been a wild ride.
Yes.
We started by talking about this scary phishing kit, Astaroth, but now I feel a lot more optimistic about online security.
It's good to end on a positive note.
Yeah, there are solutions out there, things like passkeys that can really make a difference.
It's all about being aware and adapting to new threats.
A huge thanks to our expert for taking us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, stay curious, stay safe, and keep on diving deep.